Welcome to the Vault of Horror. I am your Vault Keeper, and I call this blood-curdling tale from my bloody collection, Midnight's Mess. The clock in the steeple of the village hall chimed 5 as Harold Manson moved across the square to the railroad station. In the distance, the train whistled off into the gathering twilight. Harold gazed up at the clock tower still echoing the last chime, looked around at the quaint buildings lining the square and chuckled.
This is just the kind of burg my sister would be happy in. What a dead-looking place.
The village square was strangely deserted. Harold sat down his valise and scratched his head.
Nobody around. No cabs. No nothing. Well, how in blazes will I find my sister's house? All I know is the address.
A nervous-looking old man came out of one of the small stores, locked the door, and hurried across the square toward Harold. He kept looking around as if he were being followed. Harold called out to him.
Hey, you! Where's Shore Street? 1223 Shore Street.
Shore Street, west, 2 blocks, then east, 3. But you'd better hurry, it's getting dark.
The nervous old man trotted on past Harold, not even stopping for an instant.
So, it's getting dark. So what?
You're a stranger here, aren't you? You don't know about them.
No, I don't, or know about what?
The vampires!
The who? The vampires? Come on.
Better hurry, it'll be sundown soon. Vampires come out after sundown.
Then the old man was gone up a narrow alley. Harold laughed and continued on across the square. A sign caught his eye.
Restaurant. I could do with a bite to eat. I am starved.
The restaurant was small, but the mirrored wall at the far end made it appear much larger than it actually was. Except for 1 or 2 people who were already finishing their meals. The place was empty. A waiter came forward.
I'm sorry, sir. We are closing. It is almost dark, you know.
What the? You two? What if it is getting dark? It's dinner time, and I am hungry.
The waiter shook his head.
We close in order that our help may get home before sundown, sir. The vampires, you know?
Vampires? What vampires?
For a moment, the waiter stared at Harold. Then his eyes fell to his suitcase.
Oh, you're a stranger here. Then you do not know what is happening.
No, I don't. What is this all about?
There have been 17 cases so far. Bodies found with every drop of blood drained out of them. The whole town is in the grip of fear. It's the work of vampires.
Bah, there's no such things.
Nevertheless, I suggest that you get to where you're going before it becomes dark and the vampires begin to roam the streets looking for a victim.
Okay, I'm going. Where is 1223 Shore Street? Can you tell me that?
Of course. West, 2 blocks. Then east, 3. Good night.
Yeah, good night. Is everybody in this burg nuts? Vampires. Oh.
Harold stalked through the town towards his sister's house, and as he went, he could hear doors being locked and bolted, blinds being drawn, and then finally...
Yes? Who's out there?
Donna, it's me. Harold, your brother.
Harold's sister threw open the door.
Harold, you weren't out there in the dark?
Oh no. Donna, don't tell me you believe in this vampire business too.
Donna locked and bolted the door behind Harold and turned to face him. Her eyes were wide with terror.
Of course I believe in vampires. 17 villagers murdered already. Blood drained. What else could have done it?
Donna, there is no such things as vampires. They are myths. Perhaps there's a homicidal maniac loose in this town. Certainly, there must be a logical explanation, but not vampires. It's ridiculous.
All right, Harold, believe what you want to believe. Now let's forget about it. Come inside. Tell me, why the surprise visit?
Well, I was on my way to the coast, and I thought I'd drop in on you.
It's good to see you, Harold. You're looking well.
That night, Harold Madison could not sleep. He tossed and turned on the cot that Donna had set up for him. Finally, he got up and dressed.
Guess I'll go for a walk.
Out into the deserted streets Harold moved, down silent dark sideways, towards the village square.
Vampires. Huh.
Every door, every window that Harold passed was locked up tight and dark. The village square was empty and silent.
Not a soul out. They sure roll this town tighter than a drum after night.
And then he heard it, laughter, chatter, and it came from a familiar building.
Well, I'll be. The restaurant I was in this afternoon. It's open, and there are people going in.
The restaurant was all lit up. People sat at the tables talking and eating. Harold went in.
That's why I couldn't sleep. I was hungry. Guess I'll have to have something to eat.
Harold sat down at a table and looked around at the people sitting near him. A waiter approached, a different one from the one he had spoken to earlier.
Certainly are some queer-looking characters out this time of night.
Will you have the dinner, sir? Or would you?
The waiter looked at Harold with dark, piercing eyes, and Harold smiled uncomfortably.
Oh, the dinner will be fine. What's the menu tonight?
Juice, soup, roast with French fries, coffee, sherbet.
Harold licked his lips.
Good. Say, I'm hungry.
I'll be right back.
The waiter went away and came back with a glass of juice.
Ah, tomato juice.
Very funny.
Harold sipped the chilled juice in the glass. It tasted saltier than usual, and thinner.
Ugh. Oh, well, can't expect much in a small-town restaurant. Waiter's looking at me. I'd better finish it.
The soup was hot, but it too was saltier than Harold would have liked.
Strangest tasting bouillon I've ever had. Richer than usual, too.
Do you like your roast clots well done or medium?
Roast what?
Clots. Roast blood clots. Say,
Blood.
who are
Oh
you?
my.
Draw the curtain! Draw the curtain! There's an intruder in our midst!
And then Harold noticed that the mirror on the back wall of the restaurant was curtained. And now, the curtain was being opened.
Good lord.
The restaurant was crowded with people, and yet, in the reflection, in the mirror, Harold sat alone in the place.
Only I cast a reflection. The rest are vampires.
Suddenly, they were around him. The other customers, fangs bared and coming at him. Donna elbowed her way through the crowd.
Donna, what are you doing here?
Harold, I told you not to go out. I told you. Now it's too late.
But this restaurant, I don't understand.
I'm one of them, Harold. I'm a vampire too. Why do you think I came to this town? I had to. It was the only place I could go. In the old days, humans hunted their own food, prepared it themselves. Vampires too. In the legends, hunted their own victims. But now, we, just like modern man, leave the hunting to the professionals. We leave the preparing to the professionals too.
You mean...
This restaurant serves blood dishes, like a vegetarian restaurant serves vegetable dishes. Blood juice cocktail, hot blood consommé, roast blood clots, French fried scabs, blood sherbet. I'm sorry, Harold. Like the other 17 that wandered into this restaurant, you will have to be silenced. I cannot save you.
The tap! Bring the tap!
Tie up his feet.
Harold was lifted bodily by the giggling crowd of vampires while his sister looked on unconcernedly. One of the vampires brought a rope, another the tap.
String him up.
Apart!
And so Harold was strung up, head down, the tap inserted into his jugular vein, and each of the vampires came one by one and filled its glass.
Nothing like the real stuff.
I'll say!
And that's the story, kiddies. That's what civilized vampires do these days. They dine in blooditarian restaurants, open sundown to sunrise. Where is there one in your town, you'll ask? Well, some night, you feel up to it, look for it. You can tell it by the sign inside. It's in red and it says, positively no nipping the waiters. The guy who started this chain of drinkeries is a vampire Barnum. He knows there's a sucker born every minute. Now, I'll turn you back to the Crypt Keeper. Bye.